Hey everyone, this is Heather Nichols for Tailored Expressions. I have a pair of cards to share with you today that celebrate all things fall. My projects today feature the All Around Autumn set and the coordinating dies. I'm also using the Knock on Wood background stamp and the A2 Layer Stacklets die collection. For ink, I'm using Jujube, Sweet Potato Pie, Honey, Pear, Green Tea, Mocha, Latte, and Nocturne VersaFine Clair. For splatters, I'm using Chocolate Truffle Liquid Watercolor, Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White ink, and a water brush. I'm using Bits and Pieces Glossy White Rhinestones, and finally, thin foam adhesive and a liquid adhesive. To start things off, I'm stamping leaves onto Toffee cardstock. I set up the leaves and the acorn one by one in my MISTI, stamping them in different colors of ink. I started off with Sweet Potato Pie ink for the maple leaf, Jujube ink for the larger oak leaf, Mocha ink for the acorn, Green Tea ink for this tall skinny leaf, Honey ink for this smaller leaf, and the last leaf is stamped with Pear ink. I stamped the leaves on additional pieces of Toffee cardstock so I would have a whole bunch of leaves for my projects. I lined up each of the coordinating dies with the leaves to cut them out with my die cut machine. Once I had the leaves all cut out, I splattered them with Chocolate Truffle Liquid Watercolor and Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White ink. Next, I stamped backgrounds for both of my cards with the Knock on Wood background stamp using Latte ink on Latte cardstock. The background panels are cut out using one of the dies from the A2 Layer Stacklets die set. For one of my cards, I'm creating a wreath and I want the sentiment stamped in the center. So I have things laid out, these aren't glued down, and I'm lining that up in my MISTI so I know where to place my sentiment, and I'll stamp that in Nocturne VersaFine Clair ink. For my other card, my plan is to lay out the leaves in a sort of lined up background pattern, and so I determined where I wanted my sentiment to go and stamped that again in Nocturne VersaFine Clair ink. For the card with the wreath, I'm adhering the leaves around the sentiment, starting with the largest leaves first, and then filling in with the smaller sizes. My goal is to evenly distribute the different sizes and colors of leaves around the wreath. For my other card, I arranged all of the different leaves either pointing up or down on the card. I again started with the larger sizes and then filled in with the smaller ones, and I just kind of fussed and pushed things around until I was happy with how it looked. Then I adhered everything in place using the thin foam adhesive. I used my scissors to trim the leaves even with the edges of the background panel. I added each of the designs to an A2 size piece of honey cardstock using thin foam adhesive. And then I added each of these panels to sugar cube card bases. The final touch on both of my cards is Bits and Pieces Glossy White Rhinestones scattered through each of the designs. I adhered the rhinestones in place using liquid adhesive with the help of my Embelly Jelly Pick and Place tool. Both of these cards are done, so let's take a closer look at each one of them. I hope you enjoyed learning how I created these cards, and hopefully they sparked a bit of inspiration for your fall crafting. All of the supplies that I used to create these cards can be found in the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com. Thanks so much for joining me today, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our crafty videos.